I need to tell you something I should have understood a long time ago. Back then, I wasn't ready for a love like yours. Not because you weren't enough, but because I didn't yet know how to be enough for you. I was still learning myself, still fighting battles I didn't know how to win. Still trying to understand what it truly means to love someone without fear. And maybe that's why we didn't happen then. But life has a strange way of teaching us through distance, through silence, through the quiet moments where your absence becomes louder than anything else. Every lesson, every mistake, every lonely night, it shaped me. It changed me. And now, when I think of you, I don't feel confusion anymore. I don't feel fear. I feel clarity, because today, I finally understand what my heart was trying to become all along. Ready to love you the way you deserved from the very beginning. Ready to choose you, not just in the easy moments, but in the hard ones too. Ready to stand beside you, not as the man I was, but as the man I've grown into. Future wife, I wasn't ready for you then. But I am now. I remember the version of me that once stood at the edge of something real, something honest, something that could have been you. And I see him clearly now, not as a stranger, but as someone unfinished. He carried dreams, yes, but they were fragile, uncertain, easily shaken by fear. He wanted love, but he didn't understand the weight of it. The responsibility of holding someone's heart like it mattered more than his own. He thought love was about feeling good, about escaping loneliness, about finding comfort in another person, without realizing that love demands presence, patience, and a kind of strength he didn't yet have. Back then, I didn't know how to stay. I didn't know how to look into someone's eyes and truly see them, not just admire them, not just desire them, but understand them. I didn't know how to listen to silence, how to hear the unspoken fears, the quiet hopes, the fragile parts of someone that don't come out in words. I was too busy trying to figure myself out, trying to fill spaces within me that I didn't even understand. And in that confusion, I would have held you with uncertainty, with hesitation, with a kind of love that feels warm at first, but slowly turns into distance. You deserved certainty. You deserved a man who knew what he was holding when he looked at you, someone who didn't hesitate. Someone who didn't question whether he was ready. Someone who didn't let his own fears create space between two hearts that could have been close. But I was that man who hesitated. I was that man who overthought, who stepped back when he should have stepped forward, who stayed quiet when he should have spoken with honesty and courage. There were moments, I can feel them even now, where everything could have shifted. Moments where I could have chosen differently, where I could have taken a step toward you instead of away from you. But fear has a way of disguising itself as logic. It tells you that you're not ready, that you need more time, that maybe this isn't the right moment. And you believe it. You convince yourself that walking away is the responsible choice, that protecting yourself is more important than risking something real. I didn't understand that love is always a risk, that there is no perfect moment, no version of yourself that feels completely ready. You become ready by choosing, by staying, by growing alongside someone instead of trying to grow alone, until you think you're perfect enough to deserve them. And so I let time pass, I let distance grow. I let the idea of you exist somewhere in the background of my life, while I tried to become someone I didn't even know how to define. I chased things that felt important at the time, distractions, ambitions, temporary connections that never held the depth I was actually searching for. And in those quiet moments, when everything else faded, there was always this feeling, this awareness that something real had slipped through my hands because I didn't know how to hold it. It's a strange thing, realizing that you weren't ready for something that could have changed your life. It doesn't hit you all at once. It comes in waves, in memories, in reflections. In the way certain moments feel incomplete, like a story that was never fully told. And slowly, you begin to understand that readiness isn't about timing alone. It's about who you are, how you think, how you love, how you handle the presence of another soul in your life. I had to learn that love isn't about needing someone. It's about choosing them fully and without hesitation. It's about showing up even when you're unsure, even when you're afraid, even when things aren't perfect. It's about consistency, About being there not just in the moments that feel easy, but in the ones that test you, the ones that reveal who you truly are. Back then, I didn't have that consistency. I didn't have that clarity. I was still trying to understand what it meant to be someone another person could rely on. I thought love was something that just happens, something that flows naturally without effort. I didn't realize that love is built, shaped, protected, that it requires intention, attention, and a willingness to grow beyond your own comfort. And maybe that's why you didn't come into my life fully at that time. Maybe life knew that I would have mishandled something so meaningful. Not out of bad intentions, but out of a lack of understanding. Because love without awareness can hurt, even when it's real. I've changed since then. Not in a way that erases who I was, but in a way that builds on those mistakes. Those moments of hesitation, those times when I didn't show up the way I should have. I've learned to sit with my thoughts instead of running from them. I've learned to face my fears instead of letting them control my decisions. I've learned to understand my own emotions so that I can understand someone else's. There's a kind of quiet strength that comes from growth. It's not loud, it's not something you announce to the world. It's something you feel in the way you respond to things, in the way you handle situations that once overwhelmed you. It's in the patience you develop, the clarity you gain. The way you begin to see love not as something uncertain, but as something you're capable of nurturing and protecting. I've learned what it means to truly value someone, not just for how they make you feel, but for who they are, for the depth they bring into your life, for the way their presence changes the way you see the world. I've learned that love isn't about perfection, it's about acceptance. It's about seeing someone clearly, flaws and all, and still choosing them every single day. And if I had met you now, if our paths crossed in this moment instead of back then, I would stand differently. I would speak differently. I would look at you with a kind of certainty that doesn't come from arrogance, but from understanding. I would know what I'm holding. I would know what you mean. I wouldn't let fear create distance between us, because now I understand the value of connection. I understand the rarity of finding someone who feels like home. Someone who brings peace instead of chaos. Someone who doesn't make you question yourself, but helps you become more of who you are. That kind of connection isn't something you walk away from. It's something you protect. Back then, I didn't know how to protect it. I didn't know how to recognize it fully. I saw glimpses of it, I felt pieces of it, but I didn't have the awareness to understand what it truly was. And so, I let it exist in fragments, instead of embracing it completely. Growth changes that. Time changes that. Experience shapes you in ways you don't expect. It teaches you what matters and what doesn't. It shows you the difference between something temporary and something real. It makes you realize that the things you once prioritized weren't nearly as important as you thought they were. I've learned to slow down, to be present, to appreciate the small moments that make up something meaningful. Because love isn't just in the big gestures, it's in the quiet consistency. The everyday presence, the simple act of being there without needing a reason. I didn't understand that before. I thought love had to be intense, dramatic, something that constantly felt overwhelming. I didn't realize that real love often feels calm, steady, grounding. It doesn't take you away from yourself, it brings you closer to who you are. And that's the kind of love I would give you now. Not something uncertain, not something temporary, but something real, something grounded in understanding and growth. Something that doesn't fade when things get difficult, but becomes stronger because of it. I've learned how to communicate, how to express what I feel without holding back, without letting fear silence me. I've learned how to listen, how to truly hear someone without immediately trying to respond, but instead trying to understand. I've learned how to be patient, how to give space when it's needed, how to stay when it matters. These are things I didn't have before. These are things I had to learn through experience, through mistakes, through moments where I realized that I wasn't showing up the way I should have. And each of those moments shaped me into someone different, someone more aware, more present, more capable of loving deeply and honestly. I don't look at the past with regret, but with understanding. Because without those moments, without those lessons, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't have the clarity, the awareness, the strength that I carry today. And maybe that's what it took: time, distance, growth, to become someone who is truly ready for something real. There's something I need you to understand. Something that didn't exist in me before, but lives in me now with a quiet certainty that doesn't shake the way it used to. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's steady. And that steadiness comes from everything I had to face when you weren't there. I used to think being ready meant having everything figured out. Having the right words, the right timing, the perfect version of myself to offer someone else. But I've come to realize that readiness isn't perfection, it's awareness. It's knowing who you are when no one is watching, understanding your own patterns, your own fears, your own ways of pulling back when things start to feel real. And I've seen those parts of myself now. I've seen how I used to protect myself by staying distant. How I would convince myself that I needed space, when really, I was just afraid of being seen completely. Because when someone truly sees you, there's no hiding, there's no pretending. And back then, I didn't think I was someone worth fully seeing. But time has a way of stripping away those illusions. There were nights when everything felt quiet, but not peaceful. The kind of quiet that forces you to hear your own thoughts. And in those moments, I started to understand the things I used to run from. I started to see the patterns, the way I held back, the way I hesitated, the way I let fear make decisions for me. And slowly I began to change. Not all at once, not in some sudden transformation, but in small, almost invisible ways. The way I started to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. The way I allowed myself to feel things fully instead of numbing them. The way I began to take responsibility for the kind of love I was capable of giving, and the kind I was. I realized that love isn't just about feeling something deeply. It's about being able to hold that feeling without letting it slip through your hands. It's about showing up, even when it would be easier to step back. It's about choosing someone not just when it feels right, but when it feels uncertain too. Back then, uncertainty scared me. Now I understand it. I understand that it's part of something real, that if something matters, it will always carry a level of risk. You can't care deeply about someone and still expect to feel completely safe all the time. That's not how love works. Love asks you to trust, not just the other person, but yourself. And I trust myself now in a way I never did before. I trust that I won't run. I trust that I won't stay silent when something needs to be said. I trust that I won't let fear create distance where there should be closeness. That kind of trust, it doesn't come from confidence alone. It comes from experience. From facing the consequences of who you used to be and deciding you don't want to repeat that story again. I've learned how to be present, truly present, not distracted, not half there. Not physically close, but emotionally distant. I mean the kind of presence where you're actually there with someone, listening, feeling, understanding. Where you're not thinking about what comes next. Not worrying about where things are going, but simply being in the moment with them. That's something I didn't know how to do before. I was always somewhere else in my thoughts, in my fears, in my uncertainties. And because of that, I couldn't give someone the kind of attention they deserved. I couldn't make them feel seen in the way they needed to be seen. But now, I understand that being present is one of the purest forms of love. It's in the way you listen when they speak, in the way you notice the small changes in their mood, in the way you remember the little things that matter to them. It's not complicated, but it requires intention, and I have that now. I've also learned patience. Not the kind of patience where you're just waiting for something to happen, but the kind where you allow things to grow naturally. Where you don't rush, don't force, don't try to control every outcome. You let things unfold, you give space where it's needed, and you trust the process without constantly questioning it. Before, I was impatient in ways I didn't even recognize. I wanted clarity immediately. I wanted certainty without putting in the time it takes to build something real. And when things didn't move the way I expected, I would pull back. Now I understand that real connections take time. They aren't built in moments. They're built over days, over conversations, over shared silence, over understanding each other in ways that go deeper than surface-level feelings. And I'm willing to give that time now. I'm willing to invest in something that grows slowly but honestly. I've learned how to communicate, not just with words but with honesty. Before, I would hold things in. I would avoid difficult conversations. I would convince myself that staying quiet was easier than risking conflict. But silence doesn't protect love, it slowly breaks it. Now I say what I feel. Not carelessly, not without thought, but with honesty and respect. I've learned that communication isn't about being right, it's about being real. It's about expressing what's inside you without turning it into something destructive. It's about creating understanding instead of distance. And that's something I'm ready to give now, a kind of openness that doesn't hide, doesn't avoid, doesn't pretend. I've also learned how to support someone, not by trying to fix everything, but by simply being there. I used to think love meant solving problems, having answers, knowing exactly what to do in every situation. But sometimes, what someone needs isn't a solution, they just need presence. They need to feel like they're not alone in what they're going through. And I can be that now. I can sit with someone in their difficult moments without trying to change them. I can listen without turning everything into advice. I can offer support without making it about control. Because I understand now that love isn't about having power over someone's life. It's about standing beside them as they live it. I've learned how to value consistency. Not just showing up once, not just being there when it feels convenient, but being reliable. Being someone whose presence doesn't disappear when things get complicated. Someone who doesn't change based on mood or circumstance. Consistency builds trust. And trust, that's everything. Without it, love feels unstable. It feels uncertain. It feels like something that could disappear at any moment. And I never want to create that feeling in someone's life again. I want to be steady. I want to be someone who can be counted on. I want to be someone whose actions match their words. That alignment, that's something I've worked to build within myself. I've also learned how to let go of ego. Before, I would hold on to pride in ways that created distance. I would avoid apologizing, avoid admitting when I was wrong, avoid showing vulnerability because I thought it made me weaker. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's honesty. It's the willingness to show someone who you really are, without hiding behind defenses. It's the ability to say, I was wrong, or I'm struggling, or I care about you without fear of how it might be received. And I'm not afraid of that anymore. I'm not afraid to care deeply. I'm not afraid to show it. I'm not afraid to be someone who loves without holding back. Because now I understand that holding back doesn't protect you. It just prevents something real from ever fully existing. I've learned how to choose, not just in big moments but in small ones too. Choosing to stay, choosing to communicate, choosing to understand instead of react. Choosing to be patient instead of impulsive. Love isn't just one decision, it's a series of them. Every day in ways that seem small but mean everything, and I'm ready for that now. I'm ready to make those choices, not because I have to, but because I want to. Because I understand what it means to build something that lasts, something that doesn't fade when things get difficult. I've learned how to appreciate, truly appreciate, not take someone's presence for granted. Not assume they'll always be there. Not overlook the small things that make them who they are. I notice more now, the way someone speaks when they're excited. The way their energy shifts when something is on their mind. The little details that make them unique, that make them, them. And I value those things in a way I didn't before. Because I've experienced what it feels like to lose something meaningful. To realize too late what it meant. And that kind of realization, it changes the way you see everything. It makes you more aware, more grateful, more careful with what you're given. And that's who I am now, someone who understands the weight of love. Someone who doesn't take it lightly. Someone who doesn't walk away from something real because of fear or uncertainty. I'm not the same person I was before. I don't think the same. I don't feel the same. I don't love the same. There's a depth in me now that didn't exist back then. A kind of calm understanding that comes from growth, from reflection, from facing parts of myself I used to avoid. And that's why, if you were in front of me now, if this moment existed between us in reality instead of memory or imagination, everything would be different. Not because you changed, but because I did. Because I've become someone who knows how to hold love without letting it slip away. Someone who knows how to be present, consistent, honest, patient. Someone who is no longer afraid of what love asks for, because now I can give it.